Hey YouTube, Daryl here, aka Soul Source. And here's my base. If you notice, I went to Town Hall 9, and that means, yep, time to redesign. So, decided I'd do something different this time and make a video going through actually designing my base. What goes through my mind, what I'm trying to accomplish. Um, I think, as everybody mostly knows by now, you have a few different kinds of base options, right? You have your farming base, which is my favorite. Town Hall outside. Please give me my free 12-hour shield and do not take more than 1,000 of each of my resources. Second base, a little bit more common, would be a hybrid base where you're trying to equally protect your town hall and your resource storages. And then the third and common against the Jorge Yao crowd, um, not a fan of at all, is your actual trophy base where you use your resource storages to actually basically just take a lot of damage. They're like, I think, close to 2,000 points to destroy them. So yeah, use those while troops are trying to attack and steal your resources. You're just taking them out left and right. So, which is good if you want to have a lot of trophies and stuff. Like I said, I have no interest in paying thousands of dollars to play this game just to say that I'm on the top of the leaderboard. Uh, Maxed out base to me takes all the fun out of the game. So that's just me. If you agree, cool. If you don't, cool. We need all different kinds of opinions. So yeah. So as you can see, just use the mortar there to point out the center of my base. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video for a second here, and I'm gonna cut into clashofclansbuilder.com screen capture to show you. That's the only way I design my bases. I use the builder to design my base, and then I use that basically blueprint to pull all my buildings out to the outside of my base, and then just redesign based off the blueprint that I thought through. This particular design that I'm working on, about 2.5 hours probably of just playing off and on here and there while I'm waiting for troops to queue, just running different ideas and saving it, coming back to it, and redesigning it. So, with that said, we'll catch you back here in a second. We'll finish doing the base build. Alrighty, so here we are at my desktop. Let's go ahead and go to Safari, and there is our Clash of Clans builder. So it's right here at the top. If you can't see it, it's clashofclansbuilder.com. If you don't know about it, it's a very, very cool resource. So here's the Town Hall 9 base that I created. So this is prior to getting to Town Hall 9, just to be prepared. You can see this is kind of cool. They just added this definitely within the last week. I've been using this program here for, I don't know, a couple months. But you can see now they have the traps. So you can even place your traps in the actual builder, whereas previously you could not. So I'm going to go ahead and play with this for a second and just put my traps where I have them. I typically do not use giant bombs, as they are extremely expensive. So I think $50,000 and take the chance of hitting one archer is not worth it, just in my opinion. So let's go ahead and put seeking air mines here. If you wanted to use 4 giant bombs, I don't know, there's a good place for the third one and maybe the fourth one right there. If you can't tell by all of my base designs, I have good functioning bases. They protect me really well. I never lose. I can't say never. We all do. But I typically do not lose high amounts of resources. And all my bases are symmetrical. So they're easy on the eyes, nice to look at. So here, let's put the rest of these bombs out. And you can see everything else I already had created. But what's cool is definitely set up an account. And you can come in, you can create your base, and if you want to just have, like I do, a work in progress where, I had a Town Hall 8 base designed when I was Town Hall 6, not even really knowing fully how it was going to work out. But yeah, so there's my base. If I wanted to come in and change it, I can move my mortar back out, unclick my walls, just whatever, move stuff around. So count your walls up here on the top. You see I have 250 of 250. Let's let's put this back the way it's supposed to be, and then I will go ahead and save it. If anybody wants to copy this base, you're more than welcome to. So just go here, click plans, and search author sole source, hit search, and it'll pop up right here, sole source Town Hall 9 concept. Give it a second to load, and there it is. So it's loading. There's the base. You can see it saved the changes where I put the traps into place. So yeah, good resource. Definitely use it. Alright, and if that was your first time seeing the Clash of Clans Builder .com website, hopefully that'll help you out. If you've previously been using it, then please leave a comment just to let people know how helpful it really is. I've tried doing it without it. With the new wall updates where you can select a row, you can rotate the row, like I just did right there. Very helpful for redesigning a base. Yeah, I mean, it's just without doing it that way, I just couldn't imagine. Like I did on Town Hall, whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But by the time I was at Town Hall 6, I was already hungry. I had found, Flammy's channel. I found, a couple other YouTube channels, and kind of started following some of the tips, looking at the Wikia. I even at one point I made a calendar to plan out all of my upgrades, and I will never do that again. That was way too much work, and then it was stressful because I was like, okay, I need to make 1.2 million gold in the next 4 days because I'm supposed to be starting gold storage level 11 after my cannon level 7 finishes, or whatever the deal was. And that was just way too much pressure. So needless to say, plan your upgrades. Like, I'm not just going to talk about base building. I'm going to kind of talk about kind of my overview of the game, because talking about why I'm moving the walls into I like them all right there. My level 8 walls all together. Keep the gold walls outside. They're not my ideal walls to be using. So with that said, when you plan your upgrades, if you're not going to be on, at every waking minute like I am, I'll be at work, and I try to check in. I can't say I check in all the time, but I try to check in when I have a moment, see if anybody needs troops. If I don't have a shield, I'll raid until I get a shield. Once I get a shield, my shield's up until I'm planning on doing multiple raids in a row. So plan them out to where, it's stressful. Like when I did my Teslas, all 3 of my Teslas went to level 2 at the same time, 3 at the same time, and then 4 at the same time. Level 4, I think I'm lying because I could only hold 6 million gold. I think I started 2 of them, and then I raided for the rest of the gold I needed to start the 3rd one. So now back to base design. So I'm assuming crossbows are going to be best used. You can program for ground and air, or ground only. At ground only, I believe they have greater range, and I know that you need to restock them with elixir. If you don't fill them with elixir, then they might as well not even be there in the event that you get attacked. So with that said, I decided to start. This is my very first Town Hall 9 base, the first concept I've ever done for Town Hall 9, and just decided to kind of just expand on what I've been doing at Town Hall 8 that's been working very well. If you've seen my videos, once in a while somebody will get 50 or 100,000 of a resource. Not since my defenses have been maxed. That was back when I had 3 to 5 defenses down, and the ones that were up weren't max level yet. Since then, I've pretty much just been getting free shields and 1,000 of each resource stolen. So what I like to do, obviously, mortars, crossbows, I believe, are the same in that you want them more centralized in your base. They have good range. The mortars especially, they have that dead zone where, if you get in with, I think it's 5 tiles or 3 tiles, whatever the amount of space is, they can't fire on that target. So if you had a mortar on the outside of your base and somebody was attacking like me with giants and healer, it's very easy for me to deploy all of my giants out at once right on your mortar and take it out without ever taking any damage to any of my units. So centralized mortar. I also like to centralize my clan castle. I don't like having it towards the outside of my base because it has such a wide trigger radius. It's very easy for somebody to drop one troop down and then just kind of fish out all of your, in my case, archers, and then just pick them off, out on the border of my base away from any defenses to help protect. So I took that in pretty close to the center of my base so that I can get, the most use out of it. So, okay, so crossbows, I did this, mortar, skip one, mortar, skip one, mortar design. Kind of interesting to me. I hope it'll prove beneficial. I actually haven't been attacked on this base yet. I should probably just let my phone shut off. I have my armies fully queued up, all 200 troops ready to go. Has been for the entire length of however long this video is at this point, and have not attacked. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and just let the video run. So you can see I'm placing, where I'm placing the walls, and a lot of people put their high level walls on the outside. I think that's a waste. If you don't know, level 5 walls, those gold walls, take one level 5 wall breaker to get through. The pink gem, level 6, the purple gem, level 7, and the black skull, level 8, all take only 2 level 5 wall breakers to break through. So having a level 6 wall or a level 8 wall on the outside of my base makes no difference to me. I'd much rather have my high level walls on the inside of my base where they're more likely to encounter, say, mass infantry or whatever else could be coming into my base other than a wall breaker. So just keep that in mind when you're designing your base. Where to use high level walls, where to use your lower level walls. Ideally, they would all be upgraded to the same level. That's pretty expensive if you haven't found out by now. All right, so just continuing the pattern, and I wanted my idea with the air defense, rather than having them all 4 in the center of my base or anything like that, was just to really give even anti-air coverage for my base. So I have them split out kind of at the ends of that kind of cross section that I'm doing there in the center, and then just use the black skull walls. Ultimately, I'll want to get those level 8 walls all throughout my entire base. My original plan, if you watch my previous video, let's go and upgrade these walls real quick. My original plan, if you watched the previous video, was to wait until all of my walls were level 8, and I believe just my 3 Teslas to go level 5, level 6, 1 barracks to go to level 10, and then my dark barracks, one of them's already level 4, but the other one's just level 1, so I needed to level that one up 3 times. And based on the fact that pretty much every troop, certainly every troop, every spell that I've ever used is maxed for Town Hall 8, I just said, you know what, I'm going to spend a little bit of money, buy some gems, go to Town Hall 9 strong. I think Friday night I went from Town Hall 8 to Town Hall 9 with level 6 giants, archers, and barbs. Being able to carry 4 lightning spells, so upgraded my lab, upgraded the barracks, everything Friday night, so that I could start bringing Town Hall 9, attack videos. I want the heavier troops to attack with. So we have our main, we have our mortars in place now, we have our crossbows in place, clan castle, and then our air defense outside of there. So as you can see, we've now upgraded, I think I upgraded 3 walls to level 8. Maybe 4. I think just 3. 1.5. Yeah. I had just almost 2.3 million. So upgraded to 3. And what's funny, if you keep watching, I was not supposed to upgrade 2 of those walls. So we'll end up with $1 million, in my opinion, wasted that I could have used towards getting my gold walls up to level 6. But that's okay. We'll go get more gold. So, okay, just kind of checking ranges, getting ready to start building that what I call the second ring of the base. Um, as you're out there looking for battles and stuff, you'll notice a lot of people leave just a lot of open spaces in their base. I've never really had much problem attacking them. Every once in a while they get lucky and they'll have, 4 or 5 spring traps in one area and just really decimate my giants, which I don't know, half the time it works. Um, I like a very even defense, even trap disbursement, so that no matter where they attack me from, I don't really have a weak spot. There's of course somebody's going to comment and say, "Well, I'd attack you right here, and I'd be able to 3-star you." Do it. I hope you find me. I hope you can 3-star me because I would love to watch that replay and learn, how I could better protect my base. I have not been 3-starred. Oh goodness, in a really long time. I don't know. I'd have to look back in videos and pictures. It's been quite a while. So my idea here, the way split up the resources. A town hall base that I was using that actually Lieutenant Nixon was using as well. I don't know if he still is, but it had all 6 actually for Town Hall 8, all 6 storages plus the Dark Elixir, all in the center. So once people broke in, it was pretty much a free for all. They can just go ahead and feast on all of your resources. As soon as I changed off of that base onto the one I had prior to this one that you saw at the very beginning of the video, once I switched to that design, I just wasn't losing resources. So here, we have a Goblin Raid would be extremely ineffective. They can get mostly goblins, with the way the wizard towers are being set up, with the way the mortars are being set up, probably not more than 25, maybe 50% of our resources. 50% would be amazing. I would love to see that. Again, give me an opportunity to make some changes. But we have the elixir standing out further. My hopes there is that any units attacking will go for that elixir first. A lot less valuable for me. While I need both, especially with upgrading, I need to upgrade all 4 army camps. I started one today, so I need elixir a little bit more than I did in previous points in my Clash of Clans history. But it's still, the things I need to upgrade with gold, like everybody else, outweighs anything we can possibly upgrade with elixir. So with that said, kind of the core of my base, I consider what you see right now, that is the core section of my base. Like, that's kind of what I'm focused on protecting. At Town Hall 9, one of the biggest things that I saw that would be a struggle for me is to equally protect everything. You end up with a lot more buildings. Yes, some of those buildings are defenses, but a lot more buildings to protect. And when you jump from Town Hall 7 to Town Hall 8, you get 50 walls, and then the jump from 8 to 9 is just an additional 25 walls. So we have 48,000 gold left, and we have some of our walls upgraded to level 7. And what to do with these archer towers. I know in a second I'll be looking at that plan and moving them. So, okay, back to what I was saying about traps. Same thing with Teslas. I get to where I, destroy 70% of a base. I'm at the inside of the base, and all of a sudden 2, 3, or 4 Teslas pop up. And I've never had a problem. I've never had a Tesla standing at the end of a battle. I guess I'll put it that way. I get in to the inside of the base, and the Tesla's trying to defend the base by itself. By the time I'm on the inside, and Teslas, for anybody that doesn't know, they don't do splash damage. They fire very fast, and they'll attack one unit at a time. So I like to put them on the outside of my base to slow troops down. Again, 4 corners, as symmetrical as possible for me. And again, that's just so that I want to slow the troops down. My goal, and I think everybody's goal personally, should be, I want to hurt the troops coming into my base as soon and as fast as possible. So high level defenses and well placed, so that by the time say a group of 30 barbarians, or some of these guys 80, 90, 100 barbarians, which is silly, but yeah, by the time they get into that first kind of ring, any of those compartments outside of my cross, they're one mortar hit is going to take them out. So again, to each their own. This is personally like all just it's my opinion. Like I've been wrong many times, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that disagree with me, but this is what works very well for me. You can, clan search EFS, and my in-game name is Soul Source, as you can see. Visit me anytime. Like if my base isn't working, I'm a very very active player. I probably play on average 4+ hours a day, to put it lightly, and all throughout the day, before bed, right when I wake up, first thing I do is kind of stretch and then pick up my phone and see if I got raided the night before. So it works. I just don't lose a lot of resources. So you can see here there's more of the idea I was trying to go for with the elixir being, if you go back to the plan, I just place this stuff down. It's a little tricky because you have this kind of tilted at a 45-degree angle, whereas on the Clash of Clans builder map, it's not at that same angle. So what I found, it's easier to place your first, 3, 4, 5 buildings really carefully, paying close attention to that builder. And then I tend to get lazy. I don't look at it as much as I'm going down the road, because you can start to get the pattern. So you can see I just built out my archer towers and things just facing the wrong way. I went kind of wide instead of long. They're on the left and right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that part out actually, and I'll pick it back up here in a second. Alright, so here we are with that last compartment, just cleaning it up, getting it straightened back out. So you can see they're completely facing kind of left and right, or east and west, instead of north and south. So on the top left of the base there, with the gold mines, the cannon, we have a dark elixir drill and then an elixir collector. Had some extra walls, and just give some more dynamics for people that are heavy on wall breakers. Just make it a little harder to break in, to those different sections. So I guess what I was getting at earlier is that I think at Town Hall 9, at any Town Hall really, it's very hard to protect all of your resources. Like if you think, oh, I need to keep changing my base and build a perfect base so that people can't steal any of my resources, it's not going to happen. Like no matter how hard you try, it's the perfect army that's just composed specifically to take on your base type. It's going to come along. You're going to get 1, 2, maybe even 3-starred. My goal is to not be 3-starred, and ever since I've had high defenses and I don't take more than a couple defenses down at a time, I haven't had an issue with getting 3-starred. So I guess a good rule of thumb, just watch your replays. If you feel like you're losing 100,000 resources every attack, you're getting 2 and 3-starred often, you may want to seriously consider redesigning your base. But if you're losing 50,000, 80,000, once in a while even 100,000 of each, especially if you're active, 100,000 is nothing. I mean, I make that in one raid. So I get attacked once, get a shield till I'm ready to be on an attack, 10, 12 times, 15 times. Doesn't hurt my feelings at all. So here's kind of what our base is looking like. We have one Tesla in the wrong place. I think I'll catch on to that here pretty quick. So this is always really tricky, recording audio after doing the video, because I think of things to say too late, and I'm not in the right in the middle of actually doing it while I'm recording audio, so it's kind of hard to keep up with. But here's these stinking pink walls, 200,000 gold a piece to upgrade. We'll get you upgraded eventually. So alright, what do we have left? Army camp in place. Watch, here's where I'm going to catch it. This Tesla's in the wrong place. It doesn't make sense. And then move it. So now let's put that army camp where it goes. One big thing that I'll point out, the army camp split up like that. I like it. It's kind of cool to see, like, you know, these little camps full of troops all scattered throughout the base. Um, the other thing I really like to do. Okay, so here's showing kind of the mortar ranges. You can see the cannon has good range there. Wizard Tower has great range covering the resources and just outside of the wall. Archer towers have really good range, spread out fairly evenly. I won't say extremely evenly, but I'm good with where they're at. Again, the 4 air defenses giving me perfect coverage around the outside of my base, and then all cover the middle mortar as well, if you didn't notice that. So if you attack from one side, take out one of my air defenses, as soon as you get to the center of my base, the other 3 are going to be firing on you. So go ahead and get all these buildings in close to the walls. I don't use buildings for spawn denial. It's a good way to get one starred really easy. Just, you know, put out all your buildings out there and let people pick them off with archers without any, defenses fighting back. So not my preferred way of placing my buildings. I'm trying to see what I'm doing. I guess I'm just trying to figure out where my walls go around my Teslas now. So here's what happened. In using the Clash of Clans builder, I was able to find out and move around a lot until I could evenly protect buildings, cover buildings, basically without having walls left over, or without, starting to get around a base design like I used to do, back at Town Hall 6, where I'm almost done with my design and I find out 3/4 of the way of designing the base, the design's not going to work because I don't have enough walls. So with the Clash of Clans builder, I knew for a fact that, my 4 Teslas that are on the corners there, to slow down defenses and to hopefully not surprise attack, but they don't know my Teslas are level 4. So when somebody attacks, I've noticed a lot of people don't upgrade their Teslas. Most of the Teslas I go against are level 1 and 2. Every once in a while I catch a 3, and then there's some high ones mixed in, but for the most part they're low level. So hopefully it's a nice little surprise. The other thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and use some spring traps in those 1 open gaps, because we're 4 walls short. In a perfect world, those would be closed in, but I like to protect my mines and collectors at least a little bit. I don't like to give them away, for these guys that run 80 goblins and 80 barbs and 40 archers and a couple wall breakers. You got to work a little bit harder at it. I don't like giving them away for free. Another thing you'll notice with any of my base designs, I really like to keep all of my barracks and my spell factory all in the same place. It makes it just so much easier to queue up troops to get ready for battle. So, and then if you're low on spells, say create, if you've used a spell and you forget to create one. So I really only run lightning spells. They're cheap, they're effective, and now with the new update, they only take 30 minutes to create versus an hour. So that is very good. What else do we have going on? It's going to be time to start putting traps out. Alright, so here goes our spring traps. And please, if you see where you think I have a weakness in my base, or maybe something that's I can't say that word, particularly strong, let me know. I'd love some feedback. I plan on doing some base reviews and stuff here in the future. I've spent way too much time on the Supercell forums, just kind of studying bases and studying what people are saying about bases, watching their replays, watching my replays, changing my base way too often, especially now that I'm at Town Hall 9. I'll probably change it fairly often, unless for some reason this base just does extremely well, in which case I won't change it. So I missed that one. I cut out almost all of the chatting. That way you guys wouldn't have to sit through me donating and talking with my clanmates. I love doing it. I just don't know that it necessarily needs to be in a video. Try to keep it moving forward. So now we have a dilemma. One of the things that it would have been nice to be able to get some of my air traps, the seeking air mines, the air bombs, to get this more inside my base. But again, having them on the outside of the base, it, it it'll weaken, it'll weaken the dragons. It'll weaken or kill um, minions, balloons. So kind of the element of surprise, I guess. Maybe at first glance, where I have those 6 open spots, it's like, oh, that's where all his air traps are. I'll attack on the right or attack on the left, and then I can kind of sneak up on them. Again, I think one of the big keys to success in defending against, farmers or trophy hunters or whatever you want to call them is, again, keeping them outside of your base, softening them up as fast as possible, and taking them out. So I don't like big gaps in the base. I like everything nice, tight, protecting each other. So, my wizard tower is protecting my cannon and vice versa. Air defenses are protecting each other. Mortars are protecting each other. I just think it's a good recipe for success. So again, don't usually use giant bombs. I have 2 of them. It's kind of hit and miss for me. When I'm working on walls and stuff a lot like I am now, I tend to not replace my giant bombs as much because, 4 of them is 200,000 gold. That's one level 7 wall, or almost half of my level 8 walls. So I tend to be a little bit shy to spend the gold on those, especially when, as you see, I'm down to 51,000. Here's something funny. I go to put my town hall where it's supposed to go, and I realize I don't have room. I also realized that I put my barracks up on the top right, and I don't like them in the top right. I like them in the bottom right. For whatever reason, to me it feels like it's closer on the bottom, and just seems like it's easier. Maybe just old habits die hard, but it just seems like it's easier for me to queue up my troops, and it feels very foreign. It's like driving on, the left side of the road when I'm used to driving on the right side of the road. So in a second, you'll see I spent a ton of time turning the whole base and then moving it down 1 square, and I guess down and left, so 2 squares over the entire base. And this is what we ended up with. So again, all decorations are sold. They're pointless now. I don't know why they're pointless, but they are. So I got my 10,000 gold times whatever. I guess it was a savings account with a really terrible yield. So I spent $100,000 a flag, 100,000 gold a flag, and got 10,000 gold per flag for selling them. So we're going to run around the base real quick. And you see I have air defense level 2, wizard tower level 3. That was my town hall 8 air defense that was introduced, I guess, about a week ago. That one's level 4 now. Let's go in the lab. As you can see, I need the balloons. They're currently level 4. I need level 5 and level 6. I can't stand balloons. So rage spell level 5 I need, and I need the jump spell level 2. Other than that, all I need are the dark troops, and I have minions being upgraded to level 3 now for that 20,000 dark elixir. And after that, it'll pretty much be Archer Queen and Barbarian King that I will be upgrading. So, yeah, Tesla's, just kind of click on it and everything so you can see the range. That one's under construction, so I'll pull this one over. It covers. I think I have good coverage on this base, and again, it's kind of circular. The areas that pop out are what I consider my weaker areas in the base. To soak up some wall breaker hits and just kind of slow attackers down. So there's the air bombs, and I am a happy camper. I got my base rotated the right way, all my obstacles removed, those decorations sold since you can spawn on them now. Say goodbye, don't need you. And yeah, can't wait till my crossbows are done. So looking forward to my first couple attacks, watching the crossbows do their job. That about wraps it up. There's my complete Town Hall 9, my first go at a farming base. Congratulations if you noticed that my Archer Tower there is actually protecting my Town Hall a little bit. I'm not crazy about that, but I'm not really willing to move it yet. So for now, not completely free. but definitely not hard to take out. Just dump a bunch of archers and barbarians, and you'll get my town hall and take my trophies. So last thing I'll say, at the end of the video, we're going to cut to some different raids, because you hear a lot of people on the forums complaining about, oh, at Town Hall 9 you can't find good raids anymore, and there's no point in going to Town Hall 9, the game's broken. It's definitely much harder. I will agree 100%. I've struggled more at Town Hall 9 than any other Town Hall level I've been at. One, you have nobody you get bonuses on anymore. And number two, Town Hall 7's where people can really start getting a lot of resources. You're 50% raid penalty now for attacking them, and that may have gone up. I don't know the numbers. I know the update limited the amount of resources you could steal. I just don't know what that amount is. So here's, again, just some raids from the last week. So I did not screen capture every single raid that was good. Here's me trophy hunting. You see 57 trophies. I hope I put these in order. If not, I apologize. But the ones with high trophies and low resources, 58 trophies. What I do is I climb, 16, 1700 trophies, and then I'll drop back down to 1300 where the resources are, regardless of league play. That is, in my opinion, it's a failure. Don't give me 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 resources. It's actually offensive. I preferred it better when there was none, because I didn't have an expectation or an excitement of getting a bonus. The bonus doesn't do anything for me. So with that said, I still farm wherever I want to farm, and still not a big fan of trophies. That's my 2 cents. So anyways, there it is. If you have any questions, send me a message, comment. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and work on putting out new videos when I have time and have something interesting to talk about. So thanks again for watching. Have a good day.